So where we go from here, obviously you've heard we have some other webinars that are coming forward to help with this. We're also going to serve as resources. If you need conversation partners or bounce some ideas off, start with me. The remaining piece of the Center for Multiplying Disciples, you can email me at michelle.morris@arumc.org, and I'll type it in the chat. And then I will help put you in contact with either I can serve as your conversation partner or help you put you in contact with some of the folks that have this kind of background and training as their availability allows. We're here to be in community and communion with one another, and your success is all of our success. We're all trying to reach everyone we can with the gospel, to try and connect as many people as we can to Jesus Christ. And this is a very exciting moment in the church's history. We're able to reach people in new ways. And if we're intentional about it, if we make a plan, if we have clarity around our identity, we really will be able to make that translation over to those deep connections where people grow in their discipleship. We do have a question on what the cost for Amplify is and how that compares to Right Now Media. They're fairly equivalent. Amplify is running some specials right now. And if you go to amplifymedia.com, I believe it is, there's a pricing list, and it's based on the size of your church, average size of your attendance. So you want to do that. And if anybody does want to go ahead and get started with Mission Insight, just shoot me an email too, and we'll give you the directions on how to do that.
And I was going to answer Debbie on do you just go into, so here's the issue with Mission Insight. It is a fabulous tool, but it is also a complex tool because there is so much information that can be collected. And so that is what we will offer a webinar on as far as how to navigate Mission Insight to get exactly what you need for your ministry area. And so, yes, we can help you by printing out a report and emailing it to you, but really need some insight on how to read the report, on what's gone into the report. There's just a lot of collective information. For us to just, pull it up and send it to you is all fine and well, but really to be able to utilize this ministry tool, you need a little bit of guidance. Does anybody else want to chime on that?
I would say you can go ahead and request your login though. Again, shoot me an email, shoot to michelle.morris@arumc.org. And we'll go ahead and get you set up so that whenever we do the webinar, you'll be able to go in and play around with your own ID. So go ahead and shoot that email and request that from me.
Hey, so I saw in the question and answer, there was a question about how a Markan pastor leads a Lucan church back to meeting. I'm messing with that. Oh, am I muted? No, I'm not. Okay. No. So I tested as Markan. I'm making the wild assumption that you're talking about the references to Michelle Morris's book. I know in setting up that for my congregation right now, Valonia, that is Lucan primarily, one of the things that we've been doing is intentionally, I'm using a long distance microphone so folks can be recorded sending messages to each other in our online worship. So we pre-record our worship, edit it, compile it together, and that's been one way. We're also having different people send in video messages as we are still really, really physically distant. And as we look forward towards the oncoming, like, smaller gatherings, that sort of stuff, that we still form gatherings that are centered around that idea of communing with one another and involving each other, even though some folks may be distant. So we were able to live stream. We got one of the grants for the Mevo cameras. So already kind of lining up plans with staff here. We're looking at what it looks like to have only a handful of folks in the room in worship, when we are able to start having people in worship with us and doing that on an almost invitational basis, looking back to how some things in the Methodist Church used to operate on kind of the ticket system, like you had to have your ticket to attend a meeting, that sort of thing. And inviting people into a rotational time with that. So having folks that are given tickets to come in person and sharing that space with us in person, but then making sure that everybody else knows that they'll be able to join in online live with us. So the only component with that that we're going to make sure is in place is that there would be somebody who is able to be mindful of the live chat so that it can actively be engaged with in worship. And it means that we have to pull out some of the creative little things that we like to do with worship anyway as Markins. But that's at least my plan as a Markin pastor of a Lucan congregation, to navigate that. Still find ways to help people feel connected and in community and see one another, while we name that we're limiting those gatherings and we are keeping distance out of care and compassion for one another, because we don't want to harm each other. Yeah.
Okay, any more questions?
I just want to say thanks for, again, letting me hang out with the cool kids. I'm signing off to jump on another call, but it is always a pleasure to be in a room, in a virtual room with people smarter than you. So I love that. I love to soak all that up. So thank you guys so much for letting me be a part of this. And hopefully I will talk to all of you panelists and viewers soon. So God bless. Talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah. Blessings, everyone.
Thank y'all.